Have you ever felt like the world is against you? That no matter how hard you try, there are always people trying to bring you down or stand in your way? It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that to defeat your enemies, you must fight back, face them head on, and prove your strength. But what if I told you there's a better, more powerful way to win? Not through force or conflict, but through wisdom. In today's world, the greatest victories are often won without ever throwing a punch. The Stoics, ancient philosophers who mastered the art of inner strength and peace, knew that true power lies in control, not chaos. In fact, there's a way to destroy your enemy without ever fighting them. This isn't about revenge or retaliation. It's about harnessing your inner calm, your wisdom, and your self-control to rise above conflict and come out victorious without lifting a finger. You see, the power you have to destroy your enemy isn't external. It's not about overpowering them physically or emotionally. It's about finding strength within yourself and using that strength in ways that disarm your enemy without them even knowing it. By following these 8 Stoic principles, you'll learn how to defeat your enemies without ever stepping into a battle. So, I invite you to take a moment, breathe deeply, and listen closely. These ancient teachings hold the key to a powerful transformation. What if the greatest way to overcome adversity isn't by fighting, but by choosing to rise above it? Let's explore how you can do just that and win with wisdom instead of war. Part 1. Master your mind. When faced with conflict, the first battlefield is always your mind. Mastering your mind is the key to winning any battle without ever raising a fist. It might sound simple, but in reality, this is where the true power lies. The way you think, the way you perceive the world around you, and the way you react to others. These are the forces that shape your reality. You are not powerless in the face of challenges. It's natural to feel frustration, anger, or resentment when someone wrongs you. But those emotions can cloud your judgment and make you react impulsively. Have you ever snapped in a moment of anger only to regret it later? I know I have. In those moments, it can feel as if the world is forcing you into a corner, demanding a reaction. But here's the truth: you don't have to react. Your mind is yours to control, and the power of that control is extraordinary. The Stoics knew this well. They believed that no one could truly harm you unless you allowed them to. By mastering your thoughts and emotions, you keep your peace intact. In other words, your power is not in what happens to you, but in how you choose to respond. Imagine for a moment the next time someone disrespects you. Instead of feeling angry or defensive, what if you took a deep breath, centered yourself, and chose not to engage emotionally? How would that change the situation for you? It's not about suppressing your feelings. It's about choosing not to let those feelings control you. Mastering your mind means understanding that your thoughts are not facts. When someone insults you, it's easy to believe their words and let them affect your self-worth. But what if you reminded yourself that their words are just their perspective? It doesn't make them truth. By practicing this awareness, you can begin to detach yourself from emotional reactions and choose your response from a place of wisdom rather than impulsivity. When you control your thoughts, you create space for clarity. You become the observer, not the reactor. Imagine the strength you would carry if every situation that once triggered you no longer had that power. The Stoics were masters at this. They believed that if you could control your mind, you could navigate any situation with grace and poise. You already have this power within you. It's easy to forget, especially when life feels chaotic or someone challenges your peace. But deep within you, there is a well of strength, a quiet wisdom that knows how to respond to conflict in a way that preserves your dignity and peace. You can access this power whenever you choose. Start by being mindful of your thoughts. When a conflict arises, pause. Take a moment before reacting. Ask yourself, how do I want to respond to this? You are in control of your response, not the situation or the person who has triggered you. This is where true strength lies. It's not in fighting back or proving a point. It's in the ability to stay calm, to stay grounded, and to choose your response. This doesn't mean you have to be passive or avoid confrontation. It simply means that you approach challenges from a place of clarity, not chaos. When you master your mind, you stop being at the mercy of your emotions. You stop letting others dictate your mood, your actions, or your reactions. You create the space to make choices that align with your values, and that is when you begin to win. Not because you outsmart others, but because you've outgrown the need for conflict altogether. The real power lies in staying calm, centered, and clear-headed. By mastering your mind, you gain the ability to see the situation for what it truly is. You no longer react out of fear, anger, or insecurity. Instead, you approach everything with a quiet confidence that others can feel. You become unshakable. As you continue to practice this, you'll notice a shift in your life. The things that once triggered you will no longer have that power. You'll be able to navigate any situation with poise and grace, knowing that your mind is your greatest ally. So, the next time you face an adversary, whether external or internal, remember that the real battle is within. Master your mind, and you will master the situation. And in doing so, you will walk through the world with a calm, quiet strength that commands respect. This is your journey. Take control of your thoughts and watch how everything around you changes. Part 2. Let karma do the work. In the face of conflict, it's easy to feel the urge to take matters into your own hands. You want to retaliate, set the record straight, and prove that you're right. But here's the truth that can change everything. Sometimes, the best thing you can do is nothing at all. Let karma do the work. Do. Karma is not just some abstract concept. It's a law of nature, a quiet force that has a way of bringing balance over time. When someone wrongs you, it's easy to feel like you need to take action, to confront them, or even get revenge. But if you trust in the natural flow of life, you'll realize that karma takes care of the rest. You don't have to engage. You don't need to fight. Simply by continuing on your path with integrity and focus, you allow the universe to reveal the truth in its own time. This doesn't mean you're passively waiting for something bad to happen to them. It means you're recognizing that the consequences of their actions are not your responsibility to enforce. When someone behaves dishonestly, cruelly, or unfairly, their actions will eventually catch up with them. And you don't need to be the one to remind them. This principle of letting karma do the work is incredibly liberating. It frees you from the need for vindication. When you stop seeking revenge, you reclaim your peace. You stop living in reaction to their actions and start living according to your own values. You begin to understand that the universe has a way of balancing things out, even if it doesn't happen on your timeline. Think for a moment about a situation in your life where someone wronged you. Maybe they lied, manipulated, or tried to take advantage of you. In those moments, it can be tempting to engage, to argue, to fight back, to prove them wrong. But ask yourself, did doing that bring you peace, or did it drag you deeper into the conflict? In truth, the only way to truly win is by refusing to get pulled into the cycle of negativity. Karma works on its own time. You've probably heard the saying, "What goes around comes around." It's more than just a cliche. There's a deep truth in those words. Think about the times you've witnessed someone who wronged others eventually facing the consequences of their actions. It wasn't because the person they hurt sought revenge. It was because life has a way of bringing balance. When you allow karma to work, you're trusting that the right thing will happen without your interference. You no longer feel the need to control the outcome. This is the Stoic wisdom that teaches us to focus on what we can control, our own actions, and let go of the rest. When you stop fighting against what's beyond your control, you step into a space of peace, clarity, and strength. Letting go is an act of strength. Letting karma do the work doesn't mean you're weak or passive. It's an act of immense strength. It requires the courage to trust that things will unfold as they should, even when it's hard to see in the moment. It's about not allowing the actions of others to disturb your inner peace. Instead of chasing after justice, you focus on maintaining your integrity and walking your own path. By not engaging with negativity, you demonstrate your strength in a way that others can't ignore. You let go of the need for external validation, and you take control of your inner world. This is the true essence of Stoic philosophy, to live according to your own principles, regardless of what others do. When you do this, you begin to see that karma, or the natural order of things, will handle the rest. You don't need to worry about the outcome. One of the most freeing aspects of letting karma do the work is that you can stop worrying about what happens next. You don't need to obsess over whether someone gets what they deserve. When you let go, you release yourself from the burden of judgment. You trust that life will unfold as it should, and that those who wronged you will eventually face the consequences of their actions, even if you're not there to witness it. Instead of carrying the weight of resentment, anger, or the desire for revenge, you free yourself to live in peace. You focus on your own path, your own growth, and your own integrity. This is how you stay unshaken, no matter what comes your way. When you allow life to balance itself out, you remove the burden of feeling like you have to do everything yourself. Karma is not about revenge, it's about balance. It's not about wishing ill on others, but about recognizing that they will ultimately be accountable for their actions. You don't have to fight back. You don't need to lower yourself to their level. By walking away, by choosing not to engage in the battle, you are already winning. You are strengthening your peace, and that is the most powerful victory you can achieve. So, the next time you feel the urge to fight back, to seek revenge, or to correct the wrongs done to you, remember, let karma do the work. Trust that life has a way of balancing things out. By staying focused on your own path, you will find peace, and in the end, that peace will be your greatest strength. Part 3. Starve them of attention. In a world that thrives on reactions, one of the most powerful tools you can use to disarm your enemy is to starve them of attention. It sounds simple, but the impact is profound. By refusing to engage, you take away the very thing they need to feel powerful, the reaction they expect from you. Your attention is your power. Think about it. When someone insults you, belittles you, or tries to provoke you, what do they really want? They want a response. They want you to react. They want you to become emotionally invested so they can feel validated or victorious in some way. But when you refuse to give them that reaction, you break their hold on you. By not responding, you take back your power. It's easy to feel the impulse to defend yourself, to correct the narrative, or to prove that you're in the right. I understand that impulse. It's human to want to be seen and heard, especially when someone is trying to undermine you. But here's the truth. Your response gives them control. The moment you engage with their negativity, you've handed over the reins of your emotional state. They've successfully pulled you into their drama. Instead, what if you chose not to respond? What if, instead of reacting, you simply refuse to give them your energy? By starving them of your attention, you disarm them completely. They lose their power because they no longer have the emotional leverage they need. Think of it as a silent form of resistance. When you refuse to engage, you send a message. It's a quiet, powerful message that says, I won't allow your words or actions to disrupt my peace. It's not about being passive or disengaging completely. It's about choosing where to direct your energy. When you starve them of attention, you assert your control. Now, this doesn't mean you avoid necessary confrontation or communication. It's not about running away from conflict altogether. It's about choosing your battles wisely. You can still stand firm, but you don't have to meet every challenge with the same emotional reaction. You decide where your energy goes. This is about emotional sovereignty. Imagine a situation where someone is trying to provoke you. Maybe they're making a snide remark or trying to bait you into an argument. In that moment, you have a choice. You can either feed into their energy, getting caught in their negativity, or you can choose to remain centered. When you choose not to react, you preserve your peace. You are no longer a pawn in their game. You are free. It's in these moments, when you decide not to give them your attention, that you take control of the situation without ever having to raise your voice. This isn't about being cold or indifferent. It's about protecting your peace. You're not being distant or uncaring by refusing to engage with negativity. Instead, you're protecting your inner world. Your peace is sacred, and by choosing not to give your energy to every distraction or insult, you create space for what truly matters. You reserve your attention for things that will nourish you, not drain you. Think about how much energy you've given to unnecessary conflict in the past. How many times have you spent your time trying to explain yourself, defend your honor, or argue with someone who wasn't even listening? All that energy could have been used to focus on your own growth, your own peace, your own goals. By starving someone of attention, you also create space to focus on the things that matter most to you. This is the true power of choosing where you direct your energy. This is your power. It might feel uncomfortable at first. Not responding goes against the grain of what we've been taught. To stand up for ourselves, to make sure others know where we stand. But in reality, the true sign of strength is knowing when not to engage. When you can stay calm and choose not to react, you show that you are in control of your own emotional landscape. That is a power that others will respect. So, the next time you feel the urge to react, ask yourself, is this battle worth my energy? Is this person or situation worth my attention? When you answer honestly, you'll find that often the best response is no response at all. In the end, by starving your enemies of attention, you free yourself from the chains of their influence. You stop letting their negativity dictate your mood. You create a life where you are in control of where your attention goes. And that is where true freedom lies. Starve them of attention and watch them lose their grip on you. You'll find that without your energy, they have no power over your peace. Part 4. Outgrow them. When someone challenges you, tries to tear you down, or even betrays your trust, it can be tempting to want to fight back, to prove them wrong, or to show them who's really in control. But what if I told you that the most powerful response to an enemy is not confrontation, but outgrowing them? Success is the ultimate revenge. This isn't about proving anyone wrong or forcing someone to see the truth of who you are. It's about focusing on your growth so intensely that the person who tried to bring you down simply becomes irrelevant. When you outgrow your enemies, you don't need to fight them at all. You rise above them in such a way that they can't touch you anymore. Imagine for a moment. You rise so high that they can't reach you. Their words, their actions, their criticisms, they become powerless because they no longer have the same hold on you. You've elevated yourself to a level where their negativity can no longer affect you. This is the true strength of outgrowing someone. Think about the people or situations in your life that have challenged you the most. How often have you found yourself caught up in their drama, trying to defend your reputation or engage in endless battles to prove your worth? If you step back and reflect, you'll see that in many of those moments, the true victory was not in fighting back, it was in rising above. The more you focused on your own personal growth, the less power they had over you. Your progress became your shield, and their words became meaningless. Outgrowing someone means not allowing them to define you. When you make the decision to rise above conflict, you're choosing to define yourself by your own actions, by your own values, not by how others perceive you. Your worth is not tied to the judgments of others. It's in the quiet strength of living according to your principles. This doesn't mean you need to cut people out of your life or avoid facing them altogether. It means you shift your focus. Rather than wasting energy trying to prove something to someone, you invest that energy into becoming the best version of yourself. As you grow and evolve, the things that once bothered you will fade into the background. Their criticisms and attempts to bring you down won't matter anymore. You'll begin to realize that they were never really the obstacle. Your greatest challenge was never them. It was staying focused on your own growth. And by outgrowing them, you free yourself from the need to engage in the petty struggles that once defined your interactions. Outgrowth is an act of self-mastery. As you continue to grow, you develop an inner strength that no one can take from you. You are no longer fighting battles that don't serve you. Instead, you are investing in your future, your character, and your potential. This requires patience and discipline, but the reward is immense. When you focus on self-improvement, you naturally distance yourself from negativity and toxicity. The person you once were, someone affected by others' actions, becomes a distant memory. You are someone entirely different now, someone unshaken, grounded, and focused on a higher purpose. It might not be easy at first. The pull of wanting to defend yourself or prove your worth is strong, especially when others challenge you. But when you commit to outgrowing them, you commit to something far more powerful than a fleeting victory. You commit to a life of lasting peace. You choose not to waste your time in battles that drain you. Instead, you choose to rise above, to grow, and to become the person who no longer needs to prove anything to anyone. Success is the true revenge. When you succeed, when you rise higher and reach your goals, your enemies fade into the background. They can no longer affect you. Their words lose their power because you've built a life that is so much bigger, so much stronger than their petty attacks. You've outgrown them. Think about it. What's the most powerful response you can give to someone who has tried to bring you down? It's not fighting back or getting even. It's simply continuing to rise. Keep moving forward, keep working toward your goals, and watch how the people who once tried to tear you down fade away as you reach higher levels of success. By focusing on your own growth, you not only win the battle, you leave them behind. And in the end, that's all the victory you need. Part 5. Build powerful allies. There is a strength in numbers, and in life, one of the most powerful tools you can have is the support of others. When you face challenges or enemies, having powerful allies by your side is not just an advantage, it's a necessity. You don't have to walk this path alone. The Stoics believe that strength doesn't only come from within, it also comes from the people you choose to surround yourself with. Building powerful allies is key to navigating life's battles with grace and success. Surround yourself with strength. Think about the people you spend your time with. Are they the kind of people who lift you up, challenge you to be better, and offer wisdom when you need it? Or do they drain your energy, pull you into drama, or keep you stuck in negativity? The people around you play a massive role in the way you experience the world. The stronger the people you surround yourself with, the stronger you become. When you build powerful alliances, you create a network of support that provides you with wisdom, strength, and guidance. This doesn't mean surrounding yourself with people who always agree with you. True allies are those who challenge you, push you to grow, and hold you accountable. They don't enable your weaknesses. They help you see your potential and unlock the strength that lies within you. The right allies help you stay grounded. In the face of adversity, it's easy to get overwhelmed, to lose your way, or to make decisions based on emotions. But when you have powerful allies, they act as anchors. They remind you of your purpose, your values, and your strength. They offer perspective when your own vision is clouded by anger, frustration, or fear. They help you stay grounded in moments of chaos. Think about the times you faced challenges in your life. Did you have someone there to support you? Maybe it was a mentor, a friend, or even a colleague who helped you see things from a different perspective or gave you the encouragement you needed to keep moving forward. These are the kinds of allies that make all the difference. When you build a circle of strength, you make yourself less vulnerable. Isolation is one of the greatest threats to your emotional and mental well-being. When you face challenges on your own, it's easy to become overwhelmed, to feel lost, or to make decisions that aren't in your best interest. But when you surround yourself with powerful allies, you increase your resilience. You're not alone in your journey. You have people who can offer advice, provide a different viewpoint, or simply be there when you need someone to lean on. Allies help you access a broader perspective. One of the most powerful aspects of building strong relationships is the ability to access different perspectives. Each person you meet has their own experiences, insights, and wisdom. When you take the time to surround yourself with people who have different strengths, you unlock the opportunity to learn from them. This is the beauty of building alliances. Through others, you gain access to knowledge and ideas that you may not have considered before. The Stoics believed in the power of wisdom, and one of the best ways to gain wisdom is to seek it from those around you. The more diverse and powerful your network, the more you can grow, support each other, and grow stronger together. Building powerful allies isn't just about what others can do for you. It's also about what you can bring to the table for them. When you support others, you create a reciprocal relationship that strengthens both sides. True alliances are built on mutual respect, trust, and shared values. When you give, you also receive. By helping others grow, you help yourself grow in the process. Take a moment to reflect. Who are the people in your life who truly support you? Are they the ones who encourage you, challenge you, and remind you of your strengths? Or do you find yourself surrounded by those who drain your energy and hold you back? It's time to evaluate the people in your circle. The more powerful, supportive, and wise your allies are, the more you'll be able to overcome any obstacle. Choose your allies wisely. The Stoics understood that not all relationships were beneficial. They believed in the power of forming alliances with people who share your values, who will help you grow, and who will support you when the going gets tough. You are the sum of the people you surround yourself with, so choose wisely. As you continue your journey, remember this: you don't have to face your challenges alone. By building powerful, like-minded allies, you create a network of strength, support, and wisdom that will help you overcome any adversity that comes your way. The greatest strength often lies in the people you surround yourself with. Strength isn't just within you, it's in the people you choose to walk with. Start building your circle of strength today and watch as your own resilience and power grow. Part 6. Expose their weakness. In the midst of conflict, it's natural to want to expose your enemy's flaws, to show the world that they are not as powerful or righteous as they appear. But here's a truth that can shift your entire perspective. You don't need to attack their weaknesses directly. The most powerful way to expose someone's weakness is by allowing their own actions to speak for themselves. Their actions reveal their true character. You don't need to waste your energy trying to prove that someone is wrong or unworthy. Often the more you try to convince others of their flaws, the more you risk lowering yourself to their level. Instead, let their own behavior, their words, and their actions expose who they really are. The truth is a weapon that doesn't need defending. When someone is dishonest, manipulative, or harmful, their actions will eventually reveal their true nature. Think about the times you've seen someone's true character exposed, not by what others said, but by their own choices. It's in the way they react under pressure, the way they treat others when they think no one is watching. People reveal who they are through their actions, not their words. The more you focus on your own actions and not on trying to prove someone else's flaws, the more clearly the truth will emerge. Their weaknesses will become obvious when you focus on yourself. By committing to your own integrity, staying true to your values, and focusing on your growth, you place yourself on a higher ground. When you rise, others' flaws become more apparent. This doesn't mean you are looking down on them. It simply means that as you elevate yourself, the contrast between your strength and their weakness becomes undeniable. Let's think about this. When you stand firm in your beliefs and act with kindness, wisdom, and composure, you create a powerful contrast to those who try to manipulate or deceive. You don't need to shout or argue to expose their weaknesses. The quiet strength of your character speaks volumes, and it makes their flaws obvious without you having to say a word. You don't need to fight for validation. This is a crucial point. You don't need to fight to prove that you are right or they are wrong. When you act with integrity, you don't need to justify your actions to anyone. Let your actions be the testament to who you are. Those who truly see and understand will recognize your strength, and they will see through the pretense of those who try to deceive or manipulate. You can let their weaknesses unfold naturally, without engaging in the battle yourself. Think about how often we feel the urge to defend ourselves when someone wrongs us. It feels almost instinctual to react, to fight back, to prove that we are right. But the Stoics taught us a valuable lesson. Your peace and your energy are much more valuable than trying to fight for validation. You are not here to prove your worth to anyone. Instead, focus on staying true to your path and allow those who act in bad faith to reveal their true character over time. Expose their weakness through your resilience. In the end, the most powerful way to expose someone's weakness is not by confronting them directly, but by continuing on your path of growth and resilience. When you rise above their negativity, when you remain calm, composed, and focused on your goals, their weaknesses become clearer. Your strength lies in your ability to maintain your integrity without lowering yourself to their level. By not engaging in their games, you take the power away from them. You show the world that their flaws are not your concern, and as you continue to rise, their attempts to bring you down become futile. Your growth becomes their undoing. Your true power is in your ability to stay grounded. In the end, exposing someone's weakness isn't about tearing them down. It's about allowing their actions to speak for themselves while you continue to stay grounded in your own truth. When you remain focused on what truly matters, your integrity, your character, and your goals, those who are trying to bring you down will only expose themselves. So the next time you find yourself tempted to engage with someone who is trying to harm you or tear you down, remember this: you don't need to fight back. You don't need to expose their flaws with your words or actions. Simply continue walking your path with integrity and let the truth reveal itself. By doing this, you will outshine them and expose their weaknesses without ever having to lower yourself to their level. Your strength will speak for itself. And in the end, that is all the victory you will ever need. Part 7. Control your emotions. There's a saying that goes, "You are not controlled by your circumstances. You are controlled by your reactions." This is the essence of emotional mastery, and it is one of the most powerful tools you can possess. It's easy to get caught up in the whirlwind of emotions, to let anger, frustration, or hurt dictate your actions. But what if I told you that you have the ability to control your emotions, to choose how you respond, and in doing so, take back control of your life? Your emotions are not you, they are reactions. When you feel anger rising within you, it's easy to think that anger is a part of who you are, but it's not. Anger is a reaction to a perceived injustice. When someone insults you, challenges you, or treats you unfairly, your immediate emotional response might be anger. But here's the truth: you don't have to act on it. You are not bound to act impulsively because of the emotions you feel. You have the power to pause, to breathe, and to choose how you respond. Think about the last time you were angry or upset. What happened when you let that emotion dictate your actions? Perhaps you said things you didn't mean, or made decisions you later regretted. Now imagine what would have happened if you had taken a moment to breathe, to center yourself, and then chosen your response. You would have acted from a place of strength, not from the knee-jerk reaction of anger. Mastering your emotions is an act of strength. When you control your emotions, you are not suppressing them. You are choosing not to let them control you. This doesn't mean you ignore your feelings. It means you acknowledge them, understand where they come from, and then decide how to respond in a way that aligns with your values, not your impulses. Your emotions don't control your destiny. Your responses do. The Stoics taught that what happens to us is beyond our control, but how we react is within our power. This is where true strength lies, when you can remain calm in the face of provocation, or when you can choose patience over frustration. You show not just the world, but yourself, that you are in control. You are not a slave to your emotions. You are the master of your own mind. Imagine how different your life would be if you were able to control your emotional reactions. If you could pause before responding to a situation and choose how to act rather than being swept away by the intensity of your feelings. This kind of emotional intelligence is a superpower. Emotional control is not about denying yourself your feelings. It's about choosing how to express them. You may be wondering, how do I stop myself from reacting in the heat of the moment? The answer lies in practice. The more you train yourself to pause, breathe, and reflect, the easier it becomes to control your emotions. When you feel anger rising, instead of reacting immediately, take a deep breath. Acknowledge the feeling, but don't let it rule you. Ask yourself, what would my calm, centered self do in this moment? This simple act of pausing gives you the space to decide rather than react. It's okay to feel emotions. Just don't let them rule you. You are allowed to feel anger, sadness, frustration, or even joy. Emotions are natural and part of being human. The key is understanding that you don't need to act on every emotion. When you choose to respond thoughtfully, you rise above the emotional chaos. You become a person who responds with wisdom, clarity, and composure, someone others respect and trust. Think about the people you admire. Aren't they the ones who seem unshaken, no matter what challenges or hardships come their way? They are able to control their emotions, not because they don't feel, but because they've learned to rise above them. This is the kind of strength you can cultivate. Mastering your emotions is one of the greatest forms of self-discipline. The more you practice emotional control, the more you will find yourself navigating life with a sense of inner calm. You will no longer feel at the mercy of your emotions or external circumstances. You will be able to approach challenges with a clear mind, make decisions based on logic, and preserve your peace even in the face of provocation. You are not defined by your emotions. You are defined by how you choose to respond to them. When you take control of your emotions, you take control of your life. You stop being reactive and become proactive. You stop letting the world dictate your state of mind, and instead, you become the creator of your own emotional landscape. Start today. Next time you feel overwhelmed by your emotions, take a moment to pause, breathe, remind yourself that you are in control. The more you practice this, the more you will realize that you have the power to shape your reactions, and as you do, you'll find that the world around you becomes calmer, more focused, and more in alignment with your true self. Mastering your emotions is a journey, not a destination. Keep practicing, and with each step, you will grow stronger, more resilient, and more in control of your own life. Part 8. Win with wisdom, not war. In life, you will encounter challenges, opposition, and even enemies. It's easy to think that the only way to win is to fight back, to stand your ground with force, and to prove your worth. But here's a powerful truth. You don't need to win through war. You don't need to engage in conflict to come out on top. The greatest victories are won through wisdom, not force. Winning with wisdom means rising above. You've probably been in situations where you felt the pressure to prove yourself, to argue your case, or to defend your honor. It's natural to feel the urge to fight when you feel attacked. But here's the difference. Wisdom doesn't engage in petty battles. Wisdom knows that the real victory is not in the fight itself, but in the ability to transcend it. When you choose wisdom over war, you rise above the situation, and in doing so, you gain more than just a temporary win. You gain peace, strength, and respect that lasts. It's easy to get caught up in the drama. We live in a world where conflict is often glorified. People argue, compete, and fight for attention, validation, and power. But the truth is, these battles rarely lead to fulfillment. They often leave us feeling drained, frustrated, and caught in a never-ending cycle of competition. True victory is about stepping out of that cycle. When you choose wisdom, you choose to break free from the need to prove anything. You let go of the desire to win at all costs, and instead you focus on what really matters: your peace, your growth, and your integrity. Think about the last time you felt the need to win at all costs. Perhaps it was a conversation, a project at work, or even a personal relationship. In that moment, did fighting for the win really bring you peace? Or did it leave you feeling empty, as if the battle itself was the true cost? Now imagine if, instead, you had taken a step back and approached the situation with wisdom. What if you had chosen not to fight, but to rise above, to focus on what you could control and let go of the rest? The peace that would have followed would have been far more valuable than any victory achieved through conflict. Wisdom allows you to remain unshaken. When you win with wisdom, you create a sense of inner calm that cannot be disturbed by external circumstances. You remain unshaken by the chaos around you. This is a key lesson from Stoic philosophy. You cannot control what happens to you, but you can control how you respond. By choosing wisdom over war, you develop an inner strength that becomes your greatest ally. No matter what the world throws at you, you stay grounded. The more you practice this, the more you begin to realize that the battles that once seemed so important are not worth fighting at all. The more you focus on growing within, the more you start to see the futility of external conflict. It's not about being passive, it's about choosing where to direct your energy. When you choose wisdom, you focus your energy on what truly matters: your inner growth, your peace of mind, and your ability to rise above. Wisdom builds lasting respect. When you win with wisdom, you earn respect that is deep and lasting. People can't help but respect those who don't need to fight to prove their worth. When you choose not to engage in drama, not to lower yourself to the level of petty arguments, others begin to see you for who you truly are. Your strength comes from within, and that is the kind of strength that commands respect. There's something incredibly powerful about someone who has mastered the art of not engaging in every battle. When you act with wisdom, you become someone others look up to, someone who leads by example. You become a beacon of calm in a chaotic world, and that respect you gain will be far more meaningful than any victory you could have achieved through conflict. You have the power to choose. At the end of the day, the greatest power you have is the ability to choose how you respond to life. When you choose wisdom over war, you take control of your destiny. You no longer let external circumstances dictate your emotional state. You rise above the noise, focus on your own growth, and allow the world to see you for who you truly are. A person who doesn't need to fight for validation, but who lives with integrity and purpose. So next time you face a challenge, an enemy, or even a difficult situation, remember this: you don't need to win through war. The greatest victory is the one that comes from within. Win with wisdom, not war. Choose peace over conflict, growth over struggle, and let your actions speak louder than any battle ever could. That's where true strength lies. Conclusion. As you've learned through these 8 Stoic principles, true strength doesn't come from confrontation or force. It comes from mastering yourself. The greatest victories in life are not won through battle, but through wisdom, patience, and inner growth. By choosing to control your emotions, build powerful allies, expose weaknesses through your actions, and rise above conflict, you will find that you can defeat your enemies without ever raising a fist. The power you seek is already within you. It's in your ability to remain calm, to choose your response, and to focus on your own path. You don't need to fight to be strong. The strongest person in the room is often the one who doesn't engage in petty battles. The true test of strength is not in what you can destroy, but in what you can rise above. So as you walk this path, remember, you don't need to engage in every conflict. You don't need to fight every battle. Your growth, your peace, and your wisdom are the ultimate victories. Let the world see your strength not in the wars you fight, but in the way you rise above them. If you're ready to continue this journey of personal growth and Stoic wisdom, make sure to subscribe to the Stoic Philosophy. This channel is here to guide you on your path to inner strength, peace, and wisdom. Let's continue exploring these timeless teachings together and build a life of true power, rooted in virtue and understanding. Subscribe now and keep moving forward with the strength that lies within you.